Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University and Falcon, issue number 7. You ever read a comic book that you really want to like, but you just don't? Yeah. So welcome to Falcon, issue number 7. This comic book started off really good. A talk between Sean and his mom and Sam Wilson, and it was great. And it's Ray Sean, for crying out loud. It's not Sean, it's Ray Sean. It's always been Ray Sean. What happened to the Ray? Anyway, so seeing these guys, all having this conversation and whatnot is cool. And then suddenly it breaks into, so I guess this was like a prelude, whatever. I guess I just didn't see that. Anyway, so they immediately go into there's a whole lot of danger. So Ray Sean has been taken to this apartment room, hidden someplace in this apartment building, and like there's an open window right next to him, for crying out loud. Somebody couldn't have seen that he's in there. Like Red Wing couldn't have just circle the building and be like, oh hey, Hawks or Falcons are actually really good at seeing things. It's kind of like what they do besides fly. Anyway, all that being the case that it is, Sam goes and shows up, and he's got to go through this gauntlet of fighting vampires. And just out of curiosity, when the heck did Falcon get flamethrowers on the back of his wrists? And where are the tanks for these things? Okay, Pyro, for crying out loud, has a giant tank, several giant tanks on his back with huge, I'm just saying. And all of a sudden, this guy, he's got like little tiny flamethrower caplets stuck in the back of his gauntlets. What happened? When did this happen? All right, can I get an update, please? Anyway, and I'm not even bothered by that. It's just the idea. It's like he just happens to have fire when there's vampires showing up. There's no way he could have prepped for that. Well, Blade shows up to save Misty's life, and Blade is awesome. And I'm just saying, at least Blade doesn't show up as a freaking pizza delivery guy like in a Brian Michael Bendis book. Just saying. I'm putting that out there. Let's move on. So at least that happened. But he has an old horn dog here. I'm sorry, has anybody ever seen Blade horn dogging on someone before? And I get it, it's Misty Knight. I would give her some loving like you would not. So moving on. I get it, it's Misty Knight. But like, Blade has super senses, dude. He can smell if someone's attracted to him or not. So I can't see him horn dogging on anybody, not even Misty Knight, but granted, the diatribe between them two was pretty good. She's like trying to, sullenly say, no, I'm not really interested. He's like, oh, well, you could have just said no. And she's like, yeah, you don't seem like the type to take rejection well. He's like, well, only because in this case your taste is so obviously distorted or whatever. It's like, okay, that was actually really funny, and they wrote it better than I related. That was actually really funny, but for the most part, it's like, so here's Deacon Frost, and Falcon has a chance to say, okay, hey man, Blade, why don't you come along and help me out? You know what I'm saying? Like, yay, the ultimate, the Daywalker himself. I say get rid of the name Blade. Just keep his name Daywalker. That is the greatest name in all of comic books. I love that name, Daywalker. Anyway, so Blade, the Daywalker, like, he can go and he can take these guys out. Oh, I need to get questions. I don't need Blade killing Deacon Frost right away. Why not? What questions do you need answered, dude? Like, that doesn't make sense. That makes zero sense. Anyway, whatever. So he just comes in and he's got to go through a gauntlet of vampires. So Deacon Frost, this guy who's been alive since, let me check my watch really quick. Oh yes, forever. Who's been alive forever. The best he can come up with is, I'm going to send a whole bunch of my vampires after you? Really? That's the best that we could do with Deacon Frost? I'm going to give this comic book a D+. The art is great. I love the art in this, but like the plot that's happening in here, it's slowly draining my soul, man. Like forget the vampires. What do you call it? Falcon has been fighting demons and the devil himself and Mephisto, and he's fighting vampires now. I'm dealing with a succubi over here, just draining my life. You know what I'm saying? My soul, dude. I want this comic book to be the best comic book out there, and it's not. And like, sometimes you get a really good one, and then it's like, let's balance the scales. So, yeah, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Anyway, not happy. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.